Hey, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Out of this list here today, what guy are we cutting? And why are we going to cut that guy? Kyrie, Iverson, Westbrook, or Derrick Rose? Who doesn't make the cut? Who gets axed from the list? All right. All right, so let's start with Allen Iverson. Hey, what's up, Zachary? How's it going? Who you cutting from this list of ballers? Who's your pick and why? If you want to know some stats, I got my stat sheets up on these four guys. Man, Sabu. Man, Sabu. Man, Sabu. Sabu. I don't know that. I don't know that guy. Westbrook. All right, so Westbrook, you're starting off with Westbrook. So that's pretty crazy. Only for the fact that he, for like, I don't know, a lot of years was a walking bucket. At his highest, he averaged 28 points a game with the Thunder back in 14-15. And that's actually more than Derrick Rose, if you want to compare those two. At least points per game. But then you got to think about all those intangibles that Derrick Rose, I mean Westbrook, brought to the game itself. So, I mean that's pretty bold. I like it though. I like your thought. What else? I see some others are here joining in. Thank you. Welcome. So you got 5 of you on right now. Who we choosing to X off this list? So far we got Westbrook. Let's see. What about Westbrook? I believe though Westbrook currently is out of a job, I believe. But Westbrook, we're talking about prime though, so let's not think about guys like currently. Obviously, Allen Iverson's been retired for a long time, and Derrick Rose just recently retired. So let's think about all these guys in their prime time. They were shining their highest, their peak performance, their peak level. All right, so let's think about that peak level. I think Westbrook is obvious choice, but you can really just triple double. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, the triple double seasons from Westbrook is really what puts him at a whole nother category. D Rose is the best from SGA, number one SGA fan. So I would have to say, what happened to my check box? It disappeared. I would say SGA, Mr. SGA, Derrick Rose. I personally think Derrick Rose is the weakest one in this group. He was cut down in his prime, though. Derrick Rose was cut down in his prime. But, I mean, he also, Derrick Rose, let's see. He got injured in 13-14, right? So he was injured. He was at his highest average for, I'm just basing things off points right now, 25 points a game. That's the most he ever averaged in his NBA career, 25 a game. Just talk about points. Let's talk Westbrook real quick here. Highest points average for Westbrook, 31.6 points. That was a pretty historic season for the Thunder. Let's see, Allen Iverson. His is in like the 30s. That dude was a straight up baller. 33 points back in 05, Allen Iverson. He had a 30, a 33, and a 31. So I mean, right now we're just talking points. So averages. Kyrie Irving, the master of the handles, 25. He had a 27. Kyrie had a 27.4. 27.4. Looks, oh, yep, 27.4 looks like Kyrie's highest point spread. If it's prime, I mean, I'd say D Rose. All right, yeah. If it's prime, I would say D Rose. So yeah, these guys all in their prime. So that's what we're going with here. We're going with guys all in their prime currently, okay? I think Westbrook had the best stat line considering a triple-double at 6'3". Yeah, Westbrook definitely had one of the best runs, I think, out of everybody. I think. Not my top four. It's more about Nemo. It's more about who you got to cut. So what NBA player gets the cut from this list? If you had to pick one, who do you choose to cut from this roster? You can only take 3 of them. So who are you axing from the list? I mean, you could go top 4 too. It doesn't matter, but I mean, personally, just throw in Curry. I mean, yeah, that would be ideal. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna say, if you had to cut one of these guys, we already got one for Westbrook. So Kyrie Irving, ZW says Kyrie Irving. All right, do we want some Kyrie stats? Do you want prime Kyrie stats? Let's hit his primeness here. Prime Kyrie stat numbers. He's kind of all over the place. Interesting. All right, I'm going to go with the 2019. Let's do 29. Let's talk about his 2019-2020 stats. He was averaging 32 minutes a game. He only played what? That was with the Nets, though. He only played 20 games, so you really can't. Let's talk about. Let's see about game length here. All right, here's a set. Okay, he played a whole season that year. All right, so in 16-17, I think that was the year the Cavaliers won the championship, I believe, 16-17. He had 25 a game. He had 47 on the field goal percentage, which is pretty solid there for Kyrie. He had 3-point percent was 32. His rebounds, we don't really care about rebounds. He's not a rebounder anyway. 4.7 assists as a point guard. Pretty solid amount of work there from Kyrie, that's for sure. Me personally, the one guy I would cut out of all these would be, I would cut Derrick Rose. I mean, as much as I liked him and I thought how super explosive he was, I'd cut D Rose. Because even in his prime, his numbers aren't nearly as prolific as some of these other guys on this list. I don't know. Well, people that are joining in, what do we think? Who you cutting? Why are you cutting him? We can also chat about other things too. I just put this up there as a talking topic. And those that are jumping in, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Smash the like and all that other good stuff. D Rose was an MVP. He absolutely was MVP. Yep. He was MVP that year. What year did Derrick Rose win MVP? Was it his rookie year he won MVP? I think he won his rookie year. 08, 09? Was it his rookie year? Or was it the year he got hurt? I don't remember. Let's see if I can find the year he was MVP. Let's see. MVP. Rookie year. Yeah, I mean, he was rookie. He was good, of course, you know. Yeah, his rookie year MVP. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Now, you know, I mean, Chicago, they drafted him. He was explosive. You know, he was good, but I like to talk stats. He played almost all the games, 81 games. But you know what's kind of crazy? I'm just thinking, like I said, a lot of people just focus on points here, but he only averaged 16 points, 16.8 points a game that year. And his assists as a point guard, 6.3 assists. And he definitely led his Chicago Bulls team, even though maybe his numbers might not seem otherwise. He definitely led them. I wonder 08, 09 season. I wonder who actually led the league in points that year. Yeah, it is a SGA. I would agree that it is pretty crazy to be a rookie and get league MVP. And considering now I look back at it, the amount of his stat, like I'm into the stats, and to look at his stats, like they were just kind of basic, to be honest. Now the Bulls, on the other hand, I wonder how many games they won that year. Let me look up. I want to see how many games Chicago won that year. That's going to be the question. I think they went from like nothing to something. 08, 09 Chicago. The 08, 09 Chicago Bulls record. Let's see what that is. All right. No, I want the. Nope, that didn't do it though. Oh, 08. Yes, absolutely, Webb. I would agree with you. Let's see. 08, 09, when the Bulls had a record of 41 and 41. So they didn't even really have a winning record. All right, so the Chicago Bulls that year that Derrick Rose won MVP, they didn't even really have that impressive of a record. A lot of people say, "Oh, like we'll take MVP person this year, SGA in the chat here." You know, he got MVP this year, but you know what? Nikola Jokic had better stats than him. Of course, SGA also had a little higher winning record than Jokic did this year. But that's interesting that Derrick Rose got MVP, but yet in 08, 09, he had mediocre stats and his team wasn't even that big of a winning factor. Yes, Allen Iverson, pound for pound. I mean, the dude was what, 6 feet tall? Yeah, Allen Iverson was like 6 feet tall. And also, Allen Iverson changed the culture of the NBA. I mean, he brought it to a whole nother level. And actually, just recently, I saw a thing about Allen Iverson about how the NBA, yeah, listed at 6. That's what I thought. The NBA, I just saw a thing about Allen Iverson about how true this is. I don't know, but they were talking about the his killer crossover move, and how the NBA told the referees to pump the brakes on calling the carry and the whatever, because they realized that Allen Iverson for the next X amount of years was going to be the face of the league, so to speak. So they kind of let his his moves kind of go, because they were like, we can't keep calling him on that. That's his signature move. So they kind of eased up on some of that calling, so to speak, of the palming of the ball, the carry move or whatever, with his crisscross applesauce. Oh, all right, cool, man. All right, so happy birthday to Gabe Horn. All right, turning 40 today. All right, happy birthday, Gabe. Big old 40. And appreciate that subscriber. Yeah, the NBA, they let Allen Iverson get away with his snazzy moves. That's what I saw this thing recently about that, and I was like, we don't want to, bite the hand that feeds you, so to speak, the bread and butter. But Allen Iverson, man, he changed the culture of the NBA for sure. I don't see how you could cut him off this list. What do you think about Kyrie? Anybody? I haven't heard too much about Kyrie. Fantastic. I've seen that all over the place. That comment. Did you hear? Well, I know this is way off topic. Kyrie's a flat earther. Hey, you know what? Each his own. If that's what people believe, hey, believe what you want to believe in. Flat Earth, ice walls, conspiracy theories, mud floods, and everything else that ends up always showing up on my FYP all the time. Anybody, speaking of your little there about the Honda Civic, Fast and Furious. Did did anybody see that whole thing where Vin Diesel came out and was like, coming out with another fast movie, like Fast and Furious 20 now or something like that, and he was like, we're gonna take it back to the roots. We're going back to like the street racing. And I'm like, thank goodness. And we should just be done with Fast and Furious. I mean, the first 3 movies were about street racing culture and, modified cars. I know this is way off topic here, and then it just became into an action shoot 'em up movie. Hey, let's take a Ferrari and drop it from outer space. It's like, or, whatever. Kyrie. Kyrie can get a lot of flack, but he can go. I would, like I said, personally, my 2 choices. Derrick Rose, first one to go. Second one, Kyrie Irving. Then he's gone. Of course, I grew up watching Allen Iverson, so I'm a little bit more impartial to watching AI in those 90s basketball culture. But he was just totally different then, I guess. It's hard pressed between Westbrook and AI, because Westbrook, with all those triple doubles, he was just so dominant for so long and put up such big numbers just across the board in the stat line. That's hard to fill. But then I think about Allen Iverson literally took a garbage Philadelphia Sixers team to the NBA Finals. I mean, that team was dog water, and he got them to the NBA Finals. Yeah. When I think about that, yeah, Westbrook gets the next cut. That's for sure. Look it up. Kyrie came out with flat Earth comments, and the NBA punished him for voicing his opinion on a non-basketball topic. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and because then people were making fun of him, and then the whole Nike thing. They dropped his shoe. I pick MJ. Michael Jordan is scoring guard, by the way. He is not a point guard. I knew I'm sure someone's going to bring up LeBron James. Someone always does. Someone always brings up LeBron James. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, I mean, the dude was a triple double, triple gazooba double, bubble bubble. I mean, how can you cut him? And yeah, I mean, Kyrie Irving, the NBA did kind of punish him a little bit. And, flat Earth. But then after, you know what though? The funny thing is that you really didn't hear anything about flat Earth and any of that other mumbo jumbo flat Earth stuff until after Kyrie came out and talked about it. And then after he had talked about it publicly, now it's like everywhere. You see it everywhere. News stuff. I mean, there's flat Earth stuff everywhere now. It shows up on social media, on everyone's social media now. Never was a thing until Kyrie came out and said, I believe in flat Earth. It's everywhere. The universe is a pretty big space. Yes, the universe is a... yes. Flat Earth was always a topic. I mean, I never really heard much about Flat Earth until Kyrie Irving, to be honest with you. And it never really showed up on any of my social stuff until Kyrie. That's just me. Hello. Oh, say hi. Yes, say hi. Hi. Oh, I understand they've had flat Earth conversations way before this, and there's always been those believers out there. But I'm saying it was never really, like, more publicly put out there. I feel like there was just... I know there was always videos and news articles and various things you could look up, but it never was just like I'm scrolling and then every 5 or 6 scrolls I see something about mud flood and flat Earth and all these other things, Kobe, MJ, or Braun? My husband. Oh my goodness. Kobe, MJ, or Braun? You mean like to take? Like who you taking? Like if you had to pick, or somebody you had to cut? Like who you like? What are we're talking here? We talking Kobe, MJ, LeBron? We talking who's riding the pine? Who's getting the cut? Who's like what? Tim Hardaway's flat jumper. Haha. I'm gonna have to say this. I'm gonna pick Michael Jordan first. I'm going Kobe Bryant second, LeBron James third. But the thing is, it's hard to compare these 3 guys. You can only really compare Michael and Kobe because they are the same playing position and same playing style. LeBron, he's like small forward. So he's in a different category. Yeah, he might be handling the ball, but LeBron, I think, is listed as a small forward. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan were scoring guards. So you can compare those two, like, easily. I think LeBron, you should just compare him to all other small forwards. Personally, that's just how I've always looked at it. I know today in basketball, things are so positionless, and people don't really like, oh, it's positionless basketball, which I get. But, yeah. What about Robert Parrish, Bill Laimbeer, I'm picking Robert Parrish. Bill Laimbeer was just a big lumbering lunk. Robert Parrish had way more finesse, way more snaz, and of course I'm a Celtics fan, so of course I'm going to pick Robert Parrish. But Bill Laimbeer, he was just a bruiser. He beat up on people. LeBron is 3-14 in the NBA Finals. Just saying. Oh, I don't care about playoff championships. I mean, LeBron is the best small forward of all time. He is the greatest small forward of all time. LeBron James is. Absolutely. Yeah, we count the Lakers bubble. I count the Lakers bubble, and I think I said this in a live stream a few days ago. Actually, the Lakers I think had it worse to win that championship than anybody else. That's what I'm saying, because the Lakers had to be stuck in the facility. They couldn't leave the facility. Like, to me, that's worse than anything else. LeBron chokes in the big games. Yeah, he does struggle at times. That is for sure. I'm not discrediting it by any means. But as I'm saying, I like to separate players out by position and say, like, this guy is the best blank of all time. So I can honestly say Michael Jordan is the greatest scoring guard of all time. Look at the list of scoring guards. He's the greatest of all time. Number 2, Kobe Bryant. Scoring guards. Now, well, that's how I like to break it down. That's how I like to break it down by position. Like, who is the best center of all time? Who is the best point guard of all time? You know, that's how I feel like the greatest of all time should be broken down. Because as a New England Patriots fan, okay, I love the fact that, you know, Tom Brady's the GOAT of football. I hate it when they say Tom Brady's the greatest football player to ever live. No, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. Quarterback, because there's a lot of positions in football. He don't play them all. Tom Brady ain't out there kicking the field goals. Okay? You know, he's not doing that. I mean, if I recall, Tom Brady got bailed out by the kicker in a couple of those Super Bowls. You know, but Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. And, you know, that's how you got to put it. Like, I hate the freaking greatest of all time when there's multiple positions being played on the field or in the game or whatever. Let's see. I got that. Nice. All right, let's see. Yeah, I know everyone talks about the bubble dropout and this and that or whatever, but I don't think the rosters were really that depleted. And you got to remember, too, the Lakers were the number 1 team that year before everything went to hell in a handbag, so to speak. LeBron is not top 5. So LeBron, you think LeBron's not top 5 in scoring guard? I mean, small forwards of all time? Greatest point guard. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, LeBron went out to LA, and I'm like, right after he went out to LA, he was in a ton of commercials. He was in a couple of movies. I mean, LeBron went out to LA to further his career outside of basketball. That's how I kind of viewed him going out to Los Angeles, really. I mean, look at that. And then he got that movie deal, Monster Jam 2 or whatever. The greatest in team sports. What type of man? Magic Johnson. Don't get me started on Magic Johnson. I don't really like Magic Johnson. Never liked Magic. I always thought he was overhyped. But then again, that's because I'm a Celtics fan. And he used to battle old Larry Legend. Yeah, well, hey, thank you, RH. Take care. Yep, I'm a Celtics fan. Been a Celtics fan since the 80s. A wee little review time with Tim. Yep. Although back then I really didn't understand basketball. It would be on TV. And it would just be like, what am I watching? Didn't realize I was watching such greatness back then. I really didn't get into basketball so much until probably the 90s. And of course, with all the Nike promotions of Michael Jordan and all those hype videos that they used to come out with in the 90s. Man, the Nike commercials in the 90s were just absolutely elite. That's when I got really into basketball. That's when I really started loving basketball. But I was still a Celtics fan. I still watched, even though in the 90s the Celtics were just awful. The Celtics were trash in the 90s. Yeah, the 90s was a good era for basketball. Obviously, that's everybody always talks about the Chicago Bulls, but the Houston Rockets, they squeaked a couple in there. The Phoenix Suns, they were a pretty solid team a couple years in the 90s with Barkley and Kevin Johnson and Dan Murray. Yeah, but there was also just a lot of teams that were just bad in the 90s that you just don't even think about. I mean, the Bulls ran it in the 90s. I mean, outside of the Utah Jazz, which had Stockton and Malone, I mean, you had Patrick Ewing and John Starks on the Knicks. They were okay. But Orlando had Shaq in the 90s, but it was a young Shaq. That was really starting to push through. And Shaq didn't really get good until he left Orlando, went to LA, and joined up then afterwards with Kobe or whatever. Yeah, but a lot of the teams in the 90s, they were not good. The 90s teams, there was only a handful of good 90s teams, if you really think about it. Pistons 90, yeah. Yep, Seattle Supersonic. No, Blazers. Nah, I mean the Supersonics in the 90s, or what? Because they had Sean Kemp. They might have had Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, but they didn't do anything. There was, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like today's NBA teams, every team has got such prolific players on it. It's kind of crazy. Sean Kemp in his 30. Yeah, that's true. Hey, I thought you were leaving to go get something to eat. Yeah, man, that dude. Yeah, he's got a lot of kids, I guess. I guess he forgot to, how to be responsible. Everybody lost to the Bulls in the 90s. You lost to the Bulls, the Houston Rockets with Akeem Olajuwon, or the Utah Jazz. I mean, those, I think, when I think 90s basketball, it's the Bulls, it's the Houston Rockets, okay, it's the Utah Jazz. All right, it's those three, and then you can squeeze in Phoenix, okay, that's another one in there. And then after that, it's kind of okay, the Orlando Magic were kind of good with Shaq and Penny for a little bit, but they weren't super dynamically awesome. They were they put them on the map, but they were not it. So when I think 90s basketball, I think about those four teams, and then I do think about teams like Orlando or Seattle and some of those other ones. But what about, I mean, there's so many other teams in the league, Nice. I don't think what did the Spurs do? Would they win 99? The Spurs win did the Spurs win the NBA championship in what, 99? Right at the end? Yep. That's what I thought. But in 99, the end of the era started the next wave of the next things. And then who's winning the NBA championships after 99? The Spurs. Okay. LA. It was really just Spurs and LA. They were, then you might have snuck in a few other teams. Maybe Dallas wins one, but the Spurs in LA were ruling the league in those early 2000s because it was Shaq and Kobe, or whatever. And you had, Tim Duncan, the Swiss Army knife. Let's see. Anybody know what? Oh my goodness. Well, like I said, Hakeem. I mean, they won back-to-back championships in the 90s. Celtics won in 08. And that was only after, they went and got Kevin Garnett. They went and got Ray Allen. They had a young Rajon Rondo. I mean, so they and then unfortunately, they got all those guys like prime. Whoop, not quite prime, but really good. They got all those guys like right there in that section. That's where the Celtics ended up getting those guys. And, they were kind of competing, and then injuries and age started to creep up on them. So that's why I think that's why they only won one chip, man. They should have won more than that, but they were at that point, they were just getting a little old, and then the Celtics fleeced the Nets on those trades. Oh, somebody always brings up Puff Daddy. Yeah, that's right. With Rasheed Wallace. Yeah. Yeah, they got Rasheed Wallace and joined the Pistons, and that was enough to put them into the edge, and they won the championship that year. Yeah. See this these little sprinkles of teams, happen. It's like the Toronto Raptors. They get the championship. It was just a little sprinkle, and then they disappeared to nothingness. They picked up Kawhi Leonard just enough to put them over the top. They got Kawhi, put him over the top, and then that's that. And then they won the championship. And then their GM goes on TV and says, "More championships to come. We're going to run it back." And I was like, dude, the only thing that ran out of Toronto was Kawhi Leonard, because he was like, "I need load management. I got a hangnail." That's what happened with Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, you don't have to remind me about the Celtics, losing to the Pacers. It happened. They didn't show up. Like I'll admit, they had classic NBA championship hangover. The Celtics. They got to the playoffs just expecting to and that did not happen. They were just hungover from the year before. Beat Spurs. Right. But yeah, the Celtics, they lost to them. Which is very sad and unfortunate event that happened there, but it happens. I should plug my phone in here. All right, keep this live stream going. Yes. All right. Who else? What else we got? What's up, my G? Oh, we got LaMelo Ball. Boy, everybody with these NBA player names. LaMelo Ball, I will say this to you, LaMelo Ball. I don't understand why your team does not get you more help. You out there clowning, and you're the only one out there doing anything. And the kids love your sneakers, LaMelo. Just saying. Yeah, the Bucks did win the title. I mean, they were good that year, and Giannis was playing at a whole nother level. So I mean, it was pretty wild. And now look what happened. Now look what happened to the Bucks. I mean, they're in complete rebuild mode now. Damian's gone. I mean, they're just, yeah. They might even lose. I mean, I think Giannis is definitely loyal to the organization. That's for sure. Yeah, Giannis is pretty loyal to them. But I don't see the Bucks winning another one. Mm, they need more players to do that. But hey, they got their one. Who do we think? Who we think is going to? You think the OKC's going to repeat? I want to go to the Bulls with. Now, didn't LaMelo Ball's brother get traded to somewhere else, or didn't he sign with some other team? Now he's not in Chicago anymore, right? Right? Where did where did his where did he end up going anyway?
You should say like in session. Yeah. I need the wash machine. Oh,
okay.
Well, why didn't you just say you were on there?
Yeah, I'm on live stream. So you won't. Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, it's gonna make too much noise if you put the wash machine on. Sorry. All right. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland will be the number one team in the East again this year. Absolutely. Cleveland's going to be the number one team in the East this year. It's got to be Cleveland, number one. New York, number two. The Celtics are all banged up and dismantled. Indiana's dismantled a little bit, banged up. Ooh, the third team for the East. You know, it could be, or Orlando might be Orlando could potentially be the third team in the East. I think he went back to the Lakers, huh? Yeah, I'm not sure where he went. Guess I could look it up. Where did Lonzo Ball end up? According to this, according to my quick Google search, he's back to he went to Cleveland. So, oh, that's right, Detroit. I keep forgetting about Detroit. Like last year, their season was so magical. Yeah, I would say third Detroit, fourth Orlando, and I'm going to go out here. I'm going to say the fifth team is going to be the Celtics. They still got Jaylen Brown, although there's been some rumors that that the Lakers are trying to get Jaylen Brown, I guess. I don't know. I did make a quick little, like, 1 minute short video on that about Jaylen Brown potentially going to the Lakers. But yeah, I don't know how true that is. They're going to like 3 first-round draft picks, and they're going to trade for whatever dude it is, but... but Detroit definitely going to be third, and Orlando fourth. Celtics will be fifth because they still got White, they still got Brown, they still got a lot of those guys, Hauser and all them. The only thing is, and they did pick up that dude from Portland. So I mean, the Celtics did pick up that cat from Portland in the Holiday trade or whatever. So there's that. I'm back. Somebody says West. Yeah, the West is real tough. The West is definitely a challenge. Oklahoma will be number one in the West for sure. And then you kind of like, all right, Denver will probably be number two. I'm gonna go out on a whim, and the Lakers will be third in the West this year. Mavericks will be fourth. Going fourth with the Mavericks. And the best part about the Mavericks is that Cooper Flag doesn't have to be the man down in Texas. You know, that can be AD and Kyrie and Klay Thompson. All those guys can be the focal point of the team, and Cooper Flag doesn't have to be the face of the franchise and have all that weight on him. Oh yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. I'm in the West. Yeah, Minnesota and up there too. Ugh. There's too many good teams out in the West. Yeah, too many stacked teams in the West. That's for sure. Yeah, the West is tough, man. Anthony Edwards. Ugh. Although for some reason, I'm still not 100% sold on Minnesota. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not 100% sold on Minnesota. I think that's why I kind of forget about them. Yeah. Yeah, Minnesota. Well, now I got to remember now, the Rockets are now kind of going to be a bigger player. They got Kevin Durant. So I got to remember about KD. Not sold on the. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Wolves yet. I don't know. I just not sold on them. It'll be interesting to see what the Rockets do this year. Obviously the Warriors, the Spurs. You know, for a dude who's supposed to be generational talent, this is what going to be his third year now in the NBA, and I really haven't seen. The Spurs are still bottom dwellers currently. So Victor Wembanyama's really got to step it up. That's my take. You know, I want to see. Let me see what his stats are right now. Victor Wembanyama's stats. Yeah, it's third year in the league. Obviously, he got injured last year with that whole weird blood clot thingy. 21st season as rookie, 21 points a game. Last season, only played 46 games, had 24 a game. 11 rebounds, solid rebounds, small amount of assists. Let's see, so say how many blocks. Why doesn't it show me his blocks? That's kind of stupid. But I want to, you know what, for a guy who's supposed to be generational talent on the Spurs, I want to see like 30 a game. Like, he is supposed to be this, I want to see 30 from him. I want to see 30 a game. Yep, that's what I want to see. Let me see who last season's NBA scoring leaders. All right, let's see. That's an old stat. Season leader stats. All right, let's check it out. Last season, I don't want playoffs. I want regular season points. All right, last season, SGA had 32 a game. Giannis had 30. Jokic had 29. Edwards, 27. Tatum had 26. Kevin Durant had 26. Cunningham, 26. Jalen Brunson, 26. Book, 25. Where does even he fall? You know, for someone who's supposed to be generational, he's scoring wise. I mean, you'd think he'd be a freaking score machine, being like 7 feet, bazillion feet tall. Where is he? I don't even see him anywhere. He's not even showing. Is he even top 50 in scoring? Come on, no, he's got to be at least top 50 in scoring. Do I think the Pistons will win a championship this year? Probably not this year, but I think next year they will probably be. I think this season it'll end up being the conference finals maybe this year, maybe for the Pistons. I could see them making conference finals this year if they played like they did last season. The question is, can they play like they did last season? Because the season before that, they were complete garbage. So that's the real question. Where is it? I don't even think. Oh, is he not even top? I can't believe it. No way. Shut the front door here. Yeah, Towns. Look, LeBron. This is what I love about LeBron James. LeBron James, 40 years old, and he's 13th in the NBA currently last season with points per game. 13th out of all those guys, 40 years old, and he's still top 20 scoring player in the NBA. Like, what does that say about somebody? Like, he's 40 years old, and he's ahead of Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell. Oh, man. That's just crazy, man. That's just crazy. I don't even, yeah, he's not even, that's crazy. So, Victor Wembanyama isn't even in the top 50 last season, and he's supposed to be generational. Like, he's supposed to be generational. You know, I think the Pistons have, like I said, the Pistons have an opportunity. That's for sure. Thank you for those likes. Oh, anybody just tuning in, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I know we've gone way off the topic here of which guy's getting the cut from the team here, but that's okay. All questions welcomed. All questions welcomed. That is for sure. Yeah, leaderboard. Let's see. I'm going to see something right here. Let's see. Regular season, that's points. Assists. I like to see assists. So let's see. That's pretty wild here. So let's see. Where's the assist category? Here's this in perspective. Trae Young was the league leader last season in assists. Jokic, who's a center, I believe. You know, he's listed as a center, power forward. Jokic was had the second most assists in the league last year. Like, how crazy is that? And everybody loves LeBron James. And they say he's ball hog, but last season, he was ranked 6th in the league for assists per game. He passed the ball more than Chris Paul, Jalen Brunson, Josh Giddey, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Giannis, SGA. He passed the ball more than our MVP, SGA. Yeah. So think of that, man. Like, people always would like to rag on LeBron James, but for his age, he is still in the top category for everything, which is crazy. Got one. Oh, man. Welcome. Feel free to drop some comments in the chat log here. We're talking basketball today. We got all kinds of stats and talking about whoever, and currently we're just chatting about MVPs and minutes and points and blocks. There we go, blocks. That's what we wanted, blocks. All right, so we were chatting about the Spurs earlier and Victor Wembanyama. There he is. So Victor Wembanyama, he was for number 1 in the league last season with blocks, 3.8 blocks a game. So that's pretty crazy. Miles Turner, who just left Indiana, was at 2 blocks. Brook Lopez, who's now a Clipper, 1.9. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty wild. Let's see, what else we want to look at here? Minutes a game. Who's logging the most minutes in the NBA? Josh Hart of the New York Knicks. Last season was the heavy logger, 37.6 minutes per game. After that, we got Devin Book. Wonder if LeBron James is up in here. Jason Tatum, 7th. Kevin Durant, 6th. Let's see. LeBron James, 22nd. He had logged the 22nd most minutes last season for the king himself, King James. That's still pretty impressive for regular season. Rebounds, assists, steals. Steals last year. Jokic. I'm telling you, I still think Jokic got robbed on MVP last year. He was 2nd in steals. He was 2nd in steals. That's crazy. He was 2nd in steals. He was 2nd in assists. Let's see. He don't really play much defense, though, does he? He's not much for that. Points. He was 2nd. No, he was 3rd in points. That's crazy. He just filled up the stat categories, and people, he had a winning record. That to me is wild. You can be that good and not. I mean, because the NBA couldn't give it to him 3 years straight in a row. There's no way they would do that. There's no way the NBA would do that. They had to give it to somebody else. SGA made the most sense, plus his team won the championship. Right? Right. Got 4 of you watching today. Man, interesting to see that. One live stream I had the other day, I had, at one point, total overall was 15,000 people watched it. And today it's very, very quiet. I think a lot of it has to do with what I pick for my background. So I guess this topic right here, not as popular as the topic I had last time. All things I got to try to remember when I do live streams. That's just kind of crazy. But I will say this. Derrick Rose gets cut from my list up here. He's the weakest one. His prime does not compare to the prime of Westbrook, Iverson, or Kyrie Irving. Just saying. Doesn't hold it. Not even close. Looks like the chat logs slowed up in here too. Going on about an hour here. Got 3 people watching. I think I might call it a day, considering nobody's saying anything anymore. And gets a little boring when nobody chats. I need the feedback from all of y'all. Crazy. Yep. Well, I think I'm going to call it for those 3 people that are watching. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Signing off because it's been an hour and there's been no more chit chat going on here in the live stream. So I think I will call it a day. Check y'all later, folks.